everybody. This is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of having a chance to chat with Sam Collins, the bassist for Citizen Zero. So, Sam, welcome to Bass Musician Magazine. I'm sure kind of getting things started from the very beginning. Tell us about yourself so we can get to know you.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me. Well, let's see. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I just got done with a year of music school. I went to jazz school at the university for a little bit. So I was kind of in that whole scene. But yeah, I've lived here my whole life, and I've been playing bass for maybe 8 years now, I think. So yeah, man, just kind of doing my thing, trying to play as much as I can. So yeah, home right now for the holidays. Feels good.
Gotcha. And had you always was bass the first thing that caught your attention, or?
I kind of wanted to be a drummer at first, honestly. I was into that whole thing, and I was so impatient to get like a full kit. Like I only had a snare drum, and I didn't have the money for like a nice full kit. So like that kind of threw me off from it, and then I found the bass. So it kind of worked out like that, but I'm glad it did.
Gotcha. Well, and there's certainly the percussive element with bass playing, so you're not. Yeah. We tie in with the drums really closely, so that's you're not too far. Drummers,
exactly.
They're good people, so we don't have a problem with that.
They're okay.
There you go. So tell us again. You finished. You did school, and then Citizen Zero. How did that come to be?
Yeah, so I was playing with a bunch of bands in Ann Arbor, and I was part of this kind of funk rock group with some friends who knew the guitarist Sammy from Citizen Zero, and we had just a few gigs that he came out to and saw me play, and when there was an opening up in the band, I was lucky enough to be the one to get the call. It was kind of one of those weird things, everyone tells you, do as many gigs as you can to find the right people, and opportunities will open up, and you never really expect them to, and then that was kind of like the ultimate opportunity for me. So yeah, I got together with them, did a few shows, everything clicked. So yeah, I started off with those guys, and everything was going good, and then I ended up taking the year off from school this year to be touring with them because we got signed just after I joined. So yeah, it's been a pretty quick little journey from just playing around Ann Arbor, to being in this band that's really making moves right now. So yeah, it's feel very lucky.
Gotcha. And Citizen Zero, it's within rock and roll. Kind of some of the elements I'm getting kind of a grungy kind of blend. Tell me a little bit about the music. How do you guys kind of define it?
Yeah. I mean, we call it hard rock, I guess. Not like metal or grunge necessarily, but everyone in the band loves like Stone Temple Pilots, the Killers, Kings of Leon. So like I don't know, it's kind of just the music that we like to play, and I think it kind of lends itself to just kind of the classic rock sound in a lot of ways. So yeah, I don't know. It's heavy, but it's still like it's groovy, in some songs. So I love it.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. And it is challenging because basically the band is technically hailing out of Detroit, right? So with Detroit, you've got such a strong musical scene, and of course all the Motown background and stuff. So there's influences that can play into kind of achieving, what is your particular sound. And 4-piece band, lead singer, bass, drums, guitar.
Yep, that's it.
Gotcha. And if I'm not mistaken, I seem to recall seeing a Thunderbird.
Yes, that's the main axe right now. It's actually sitting behind me in the chair. Yeah, I had this like 5-string bass for a long time. It was kind of more for like jazz funk stuff, and we were about to hit the road, and we were like, man, like I knew I needed to find something that had like a little more like grit to it, kind of, something with a little more power. So we went in and traded the 5-string for the Thunderbird at Motor City Guitars, and yeah, I've been loving it. I love Kings of Leon, and Jared is always on the Thunderbird, so it's been fun to play so far. I think I'm going to stick with it. So But yeah, it's definitely got like that grungy, drivey tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of exactly what I needed at the time. So yeah, it's doing good.
I hear you. Well, and it's kind of one of those interesting things because when it comes to basses, the Thunderbirds I think are a great example of how wood affects the resonance of the instrument, and gives you such a different, distinctive sound.
Yeah.
That, it's a good thing you're young because they're heavy. At least in
Yeah.
my.
And they nosedive. If you take your hand off the neck, it'll just fall forward. So
There you go.
Have your balance game pretty good.
Yeah, but it certainly helps a lot of times when you're going for a particular sound to be able to get that. What else are you using in the way of gear? What?
Well, I actually have a Fender American Standard Jazz bass as well, and that was kind of like my main bass before I joined the band, and I actually have that tuned in drop B now, so that's kind of like intense,
Gotcha.
kind of an intense change from what it used to be. So that's I use that for just a few songs, but as far as actual gear, I go through a Sans Amp DI driver, so that's literally like all my tone and my pedals is just from that.
Nice.
Like use it as an overdrive. And then I have this 70s Ampeg cab that has 215s in it, which is kind of weird. Like everyone who sees it thinks it's like an 810 or like no one expects there to be 215s in there. Every sound guy who ends up going up to Mike and is like, what's going on here? So, but it sounds great. And then I have a SPT3 Pro head, and that's it, man. It's pretty simple. It's just kind of plug and go. But yeah, I think we've dialed it in to get some good gritty tone.
Gotcha. And so you're pretty much not doing a whole lot with pedals or stuff like that?
And not right now. I haven't dived into it too much. The next thing on my horizon right now is probably I've been looking at getting a micro synth, the Electro Harmonix one, just to get that crazy synth bass. So that'll be a whole new adventure whenever I get that in the arsenal.
Gotcha. And let's talk a little bit about what the band's got going on. They recently had a debut, State of Mind.
Mm-hmm.
And with a single Go, and it's got within the brackets, Let Me Save You. So tell me a little bit about this whole project that you guys have been working on.
Yeah, so the album came out in August, and the band, we hadn't really been out on the road ever before that. Well, I guess I should go back to like last year around Christmas time was actually when we started doing showcases for labels, and we ended up getting signed to Wind Up Records, and they were able to get the album out finally. It was kind of like sitting with the guys for a long time, like they had been working on it, trying to get it out. So once that came out, we kind of just hit the road. We've pretty much been out since August. We've been back home for some big chunks of time, but we've been out with a bunch of different bands, just trying to push it as hard as we can. But had some radio success with Go, which has been really great for us. It's opened up a lot of opportunities for just touring and doing our thing. So we're just going to kind of keep pushing it as hard as we can. But the next single's coming out in January, so kind of looking forward to getting another song out there.
Nice. And after that, what kind of thing? I know probably you're at this stage where you're so busy and kind of on the move, but are you thinking band-wise, you thinking of any, what's next? Because you always kind of have to think about what's coming next, right?
Definitely. So we're home for like all of January, so this is kind of like the biggest chunk that we've been home since the summer. So we're gonna try and get in the studio, and we all kind of have a bunch of different little ideas for songs. You know how that is, like, we kind of had chances to jam on them during like sound checks and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna try and just lock ourselves in the studio kind of thing, and just crank out some new demos for songs and try and get the writing going for the next album. I think we're all like a little antsy to be doing that. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna be writing some cool stuff this month, and then we're back out on the road in February. So just trying to do kind of everything at once.
Gotcha.
As it always feels.
And if somebody wants to catch like one of your shows, where's the best place for them to kind of look?
Well, if you just find us on Facebook, all our dates are on there. We're pretty much going to be going around all of North America in February. So it starts down in like Texas, and then we go just all the way around the coast. We're going up into Canada for a few shows too. So yeah, there's a bunch of dates out there. But we actually were able to do this cool session for something called JBTV. I don't know if you've heard of them in Chicago. Well, it was a really cool, just live in studio, full band like performance. So that stuff is on YouTube as well. It's also on our Facebook pages, and that's kind of like a good live recording of us. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there right now. It's exciting to see kind of all these different videos pop up now that we've been on the road for a little bit of actual live performances of us. So yeah, man, we're just doing it.
Gotcha. And even though I know that you're really involved with Citizen Zero right now, kind of in the back of the head, are there any projects or stuff that you would like to, you're thinking Sam, not necessarily as a, on a ever shooting out as a solo thing, but what kind of things would you like to be working on in the future?
Yeah, I mean, if I was trying to think of things specifically that aren't just Citizen Zero, I mean, I love funk music. I never, that's actually kind of how I started, was, with all Motown, funk kind of stuff like that. So, as most bass players have. So I don't know. Yeah, I love jamming with anybody. So, times like this when I'm home in Ann Arbor, I'm getting back together with friends who I, used to play with a lot. So, there's not anything real specific in mind, but, I just want to be playing with anybody I can. And it's great to, branch out and be playing different genres than just what you've been stuck in for a while. So, yeah, I hope to just be playing with anyone I can, really.
There you go. Well, very cool. Very cool. Well, Sam, thank you so much for taking time. I know with a little bit of time away from the family and the holiday stuff that's going on. So, folks, remember, Citizen Zero, probably the best place, Citizen Zero Facebook page to look for.
Yep, that's it, man.
Check ahead and see if they're going to be in a town near you. Sounds like they're going to be covering a lot of territory in the near future. And check out YouTube videos, also under Citizen Zero, kind of get an idea what kind of music and what stuff's going on. And keep your eyes out for future projects. And, of course, again, Sam Collins on bass.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
It's been our pleasure. So thanks again. You've seen this here on Bass Musician Magazine.